outside organization, or the fact that their undefeated fighters will fight each other.
At 28?
Oh,
they're both 28. Lee, how about that?
Yeah, maybe when they're 33. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
This is literally Mayweather-Pacquiao in the making. Okay?
Right.
We'll get to it. We'll keep talking about it for the next 5 years. Now we got an insider, Mike Coppinger. Well, it's been revealed. It's really going to happen next year. Okay, the year after.
How about this one? How about this angle, Lee? If Spence is a real pay-per-view star, he's got to get opponents for him. The winner of this fight could be a pay-per-view matchup down the road for Spence, correct?
Look, I'm still not even convinced the Mikey Garcia thing is still going to happen. Like, I still expect something to happen before that fight so they can get out of it. If they don't sell tickets or something happens, I guarantee it. Somebody's going to test dirty. Some bullshit's going to happen. It's just the PBC.
And let me throw this out there just for knowledge. The Charlo, Jamal, the one that's at middleweight that was supposed to fight Willie Monroe. Let's not forget that Jamal Charlo passed on his drug test that Willie Monroe tested dirty for. So I don't know if both guys are dirty. I don't know what's going on with the PBC and their drug testing right now. But yes, Charlo refused his test. Monroe took it and was dirty.
You are sweet.
And it's funny how a fighter can refuse a test and, he was fined. No suspension by Mr. Suleiman, just a little, put a little money in my pocket.
There's more propaganda bullshit by Coppinger. Are you ready? Direct quotes from Mr. Coppinger. I feel like he needs a voice. Like, he's going to be a character on this show. It's just not an if, it's a when. I wish I could remember how to do the gay voice. That's a good flashback to a previous episode. I just don't remember how I did it. The PBC would love to put together Hurd versus Charlo together the second half of next year so that they're on a collision course. But a lot has to happen for the fight to reach that point. There you go. There it is. Yeah. And there it is. Okay, wait. He's actually got the math for it. You ready? By the way, this is the same math that would also get the Green Bay Packers to the Super Bowl. I should have read the article. Wait, this is so delusional. This is like the Green Bay Packers getting into the playoffs. You ready for this? First, Jermell Charlo has to fight against Tony Danza on December 22nd. I'm sorry, Tony Harrison on December 22nd on Fox. That was a good joke, too. And then I'm told that Jarrett Hurd is going to fight junior middleweight contender Julian Williams sometimes in the spring. No date set. And then Jermell Charlo is going to have another fight in the spring and an opponent to be determined. If everyone wins and they all come out okay with no injuries, there's the key word. And he actually puts the word okay in giant letters. Smart writing. Is this Keith Eidick, by the way? No, this is Lem Satterford. Wow, Lem. Good for you. He put okay in capitals. If everybody wins and they all come out okay, they know the PBC. With no injuries. I made air quotes for a radio broadcast, Andrew. That is so gay. They want to do the fight Hurd-Charlo sometime in the second half of the year. Let me tell you what's going to happen first, Andrew. The Arizona... No, I'll take it a step further. The Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh,
that's more likely than Hurd-Charlo.
No.
In fact, I'll go a step further. It's going to be the 49ers versus the Raiders in the Super Bowl this year. That is more likely than Hurd-Charlo.
That Jarrett Hurd-Williams fight, I believe, is going to be on the Spence Garcia card, Lee. And that's being done for a reason. I'm telling you, I think El Heyman needs to get this pay-per-view thing going here. It's not a surprise that his last three major fights were on pay-per-view. All right, Wilder versus Fury, pay-per-view. Pacquiao Broner, Spence Garcia. Um, if Spence is going to continue this, they need opponents for him. Lee, I'm telling you right now, Charlo defeats Hurd. That is going to be a huge fight because Charlo's been a name in the PBC that a lot of their fan base knows. If he gets a major knockout, gets 2 titles, and is ranked number 1 with their fan base that seems to do about 1 million easy on their major fights themselves. Remember, Spence one time brought in 6 million views. Don't know how. It was after the NBA All-Star game. I don't know if a lot of fans just fell asleep and left their TVs on, but he at one time did 6 million views behind an NBA All-Star game. That fight's going to become huge for them. So there is a reason why Heyman could be looking at these two and finally pulling the plug on them. The future might not be with either of them. He might be thinking of Spence more than he is thinking of Hurd versus Charlo, and that could be a mistake on Al Heyman's part. But when you look at the landscape, most people have been talking about Spence being the future than boxing than any other prospect out of the PBC.
God bless you, Andrew. God bless you and your craziness. You are such a hardcore fan. You really are. I just, there's no part of me.
But they said next year. That doesn't give you hope. they said this fight is going to be
made. Chapter 11 before this fight happens. Are you kidding? They're going to be in receivership and looking for a bailout from.
Deontay might have bailed them out. He might have. He did a good pay-per-view number, right? The fight was huge. Everybody talked about it. I don't see that number. I see that number only growing in the rematch. I think PDC is going to be fine as long as Deontay's fine. And in the rematch, it is not a guarantee that Tyson Fury gives him a 12-round beating. We all seen Deontay has the power to drop that man. So, yes, in the rematch, Deontay could win it, and then the PBC will be booming. Hopefully, Spence versus Garcia, a superstar, will come out of there. Then Al Heyman's Moneyball will be rolling again.
They got Deontay.
They got
Deontay Wilder.
He did good. He didn't win that fight, but it was the most talked about thing the next day. You said it was the greatest numbers we've done. That's across the board for everyone right now. Deontay was on numerous shows too right after that fight. I see their numbers only growing. All he has to do is continue to be competitive right now. Even if he was to lose to Fury, still think he has enough momentum to carry the PBC for right now. He's a very charismatic heavyweight that people get attracted to.
Can I have a side note here with you? Are you just all over the PBC because it's good for boxing in your mind? Like, why are you, like, you're so hopeful. It's really genuinely, you're a good guy. Like, you genuinely. They have changed just a little. They have changed. You see more fights coming out of there. We will see what happens. I believe with the rise of DAZN, the ESPN app, Golden Boy, Al Heyman had to do something here. His fighters were coming out talking bad about him. They got some more money, right? The check is bigger now. They got 60-something million from Showtime. They got a few million from Fox. So let's see what he does on this round of fights that he's going to put out. But so far it's good. Fury, Wilder, a fight no one expected. Broner, Pacquiao, a fight no one expected. Garcia, Spence, a fight nobody expected, Lee. He is putting it out right now. Right now, Manny Pacquiao has a chance to bring back his career, and I don't see him fighting Floyd Mayweather if he beats Adrian Broner. I think Al Heyman will then start milking Manny Pacquiao, putting him up against opponents that he knows he can defeat, but that he can put on pay-per-view and just get a little bit more views into that fight. Not saying every fight under the PBC will be a main event, but I see him wanting Pacquiao more than Broner in this pay-per-view match that he has coming up, because you put Pacquiao in with any of the welterweights, it's a pretty good ticket seller.
I mean, you Pacquiao versus Spence Garcia winner or the loser. It's a pretty good seller.
You're sweet, man. You're going to go to heaven.
Have a good heart,
heaven,
you guys.
Andrew's fights all come to pass. I'm going to go to hell where it will just be more PBC reruns on Showtime Extreme. Like fights I don't want to see over and over. Why does Showtime just keep showing shitty fights during the week? Like, they're not even pulling from the library hard. Like, they're not even trying.
Yeah, you're right about that. I always question the replay of the show boxes from years ago. Like, did nobody
watched it when it happened the first
live?
time? Right, except us, because I had to talk about it for, 55 minutes or so. Yeah, there's some shit on a stick, man. Man, oh man. What a shocking day. We find out that Andrew really is a good guy. We find out that pound for pound is going into the toilet.
I didn't even know there was... Are those 9 million boxing websites or just 9 million websites?
Okay, so it's called Alexa, right? And they rank your
Yes.
website from number 1 being Google, number 2 being Facebook, all the way down to number 10 million.
Gotcha.
So here's the global ranking of life, Andrew. We're way up towards... We're closer to the top. We're not boxing scene numbers, but we're way up closer to the top. Then there's, in the very middle of that pile, around 4 million, is The Boxing Show. And then at the bottom of the list, just before you get tossed off the list, where it says NA, they actually put that. NA means you have no traffic to your website whatsoever. N-A. That's how close Bill is. Bill is literally on the verge of NA. When that happens, I'm going to offer him $50 for the website and rebrand it. I'm going to be a total dick. I want to buy it. I'm buying you out. What do you want? I get so many. You don't get any traffic, bro. Don't bullshit me. Don't bullshit me. I almost want to, live on this show, go to one of those websites that actually does appraisals of websites and tell you what it's worth to buy their... Because that's the thing. I could actually do that, but I can't multitask. Monroe's VADA test threatens the Charlo fight. Korobov could step in.
He already did.
All
He
right.
did, Lee.
You just shut the story down, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to say an old one. Because that story's old now. The new story is he replaced him. Willie Monroe's out.
Which takes us to...
It will not be exciting, though.
No.
Whoever said this opponent is better than Willie Monroe Jr., one, you're lying because Willie Monroe's on steroids, so that makes him better right there. And two, Korobov. I'm going to call him...
Korobov.
Yeah. Korobov. He's 35 years old. He's only fought in 4 times since 2016. But there's the catch. He didn't fight at all in 2017, and he's only fought in 1 6-round bout in 2018. So that means he fought 3 times in 2016 and then kind of disappeared for a while. Don't expect him to go too long with Charlo. But now, catch this. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, man, this guy, he hasn't fought really. Like, this is going to affect him right there, man. Charlo's been way more active. So I went to Charlo's record. And when I look at Charlo, Lee.
Yes.
1 fight he had 3 fights 2015. 2 fights in 2016, 1 fight in 2017, 1 fight in 2018. So really, since 2016, Jermell Charlo has only went 11 rounds. So really, both of these guys are inactive coming in the ring Saturday night. I don't see an advantage for either guy. Korobov is a boxer. He goes to decisions a lot. Now, granted, those aren't 12-round fights. They're 10, 8-rounders. His last one was a 6-rounder. But if he can get Charlo later into the fight, you might see Charlo slow down here big time, seeing the fact that he's only been 2 rounds and 2